Good morning, fellow traders. Bubblehead here, and it's time for the Good Morning Market Prep for Friday, February 21st, 2020. I hope everybody had a great night last night. This is brought to you by Positive Trends Research, and before we get started, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only, not investment advice, so please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome. Let's check out and see where we left off in the market yesterday. So, SPX was on the weekly chart, finished green, right, spinning top right here, but it looks like futures are down a little bit this morning. We'll take a look at those in a moment. We got a shot across the bow yesterday at these new high levels, so you could see that we had originally gapped down right below the upward trend line right here, so that's kind of the first indication that, hey, just be careful, right, and then we flushed down, basically early morning, and then they recovered it, then they bought the dip on it, so it came right back to the trend line, but it was almost like a retest of the bottom of it. So sometimes those retests do see more downside movement, so we'll see how that holds right there. Again, it's always best to stay above the trend line, right? We look for bullish action when we're above it, but when we see that bearish action now in the morning, it was good. We did have some bullish stuff just real quick, where we did have a nice open, right? And so it was a good place to take profits, move stops, and it was right when we got to that prior support level from the prior day that became resistance, right? We saw the move back down. So that being said, let's take a look at the S&P futures and see how that's looking this morning. All right, so here we go. So we could see here that this evening or through the night we had a little bit of a rough move, right? But we reclaimed about 50% of the range from yesterday, which is a good recovery, right? And a good retracement. And then so far here we are working our way to try to get above this trend box area from last night. So let's see how that goes right here. So we're right there in the trend box. So let's see if we can close bullishly above that and try to work its way up. Other than that, let's take a look and see what else is going on here in the market today. Let's take a look, of course, at Tesla just to see how that's looking this morning because, as usual, it has been quite active recently, and it's been our discussion this week. So about 10 points this morning, down about 10 points this morning. They tried to gap it up early, and they faded a little bit. Let's see if it looks like it's going to open just about flat or a little bit down. So we'll see if that continues to build on its lower shadow from yesterday. Right? It came back down, filled the gap, and maybe working its way back up. So let's see what else. So we have John Deere reporting earnings this morning. Let's take a look and see if those numbers have come out yet. There's a little bit of a move up here, but we'll see if that ends up holding. Let's see if we can get some more volume into that one. But from yesterday, we have DBX. Okay, so that's up nicely after earnings here. Over at 21.95 over 22 could be very interesting. Let's take a look again and see. 22 is right here. So it's over a couple major pivots. There's some gaps up here at 22.78. So we may see a little bit of a push on this one, but probably either some chop. It might end with like a doji type situation. But again, over these major pivot levels are where we see more of the gap and go type stuff. Why? Well, last night, if you guys were on the live stream, we talked about the short squeeze, right? So shorts often have their stops above these major pivots, right? So you can squeeze out of there, and then you have buyers coming in too. So it just gives it that gap and go move. From there, let's take a look. We also have ZS this morning. Zscaler had a hit, a little rough earnings report there. It's about 57 right now. 57 brings it down to about here, so it may see a reversal this morning. May see some buying pressure. It's recently had a pretty big, strong uptrend, so it's not below any major pivots where you have a long squeeze. so you have those as well. SFM. Sprouts Farmers Market, nice earnings here, and I believe from last night and also an upgrade this morning. So that's at about 17.42. That puts it over this major pivot right here, and it puts it over these major pivots right here. Those are on the hourly chart, but we still have some levels up here, so we'll see if those get taken out. We may see a little bit of a pop in that today. And let's see, LB, I believe had an upgrade this morning. So no real action this morning on limited brands, but it's been interesting. Chewy had its first upgrade that I've seen in a while. So that's got a little bit of a pop-up this morning. Let's see if that builds on some strength there. It's been showing some relative strength recently as it's kind of come up in the cloud and staying over the 50-day moving average, so keep an eye on it. And FSLR, I believe it had a rough morning here on earnings, and also a little bit of a downgrade too this morning too. And then finally OLED. Tough one to trade intraday. Also tough one to trade after hours too. But it is chopping around here. It's down slightly, but something to still keep an eye on as they provide displays. So it's a good indication of the manufacturing, especially if they have any comments from China, things like that. So that being said, I hope everybody has a great trading day today. Remember, it's Friday, so consider trading next week's options if you don't want to get assigned or have to deal with the Friday theta. So I hope everybody has a wonderful trading day. We'll see you guys at the lunchtime market update, and remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. And I'll talk to you soon.